Cheers, I do buckaroos, and how the heck are you? So I just picked up the 3 bottle set. Came with the Jack Daniels, three 375s, I should point out. Jack Daniels single barrel proof, the Jack Daniels single barrel select, and the Jack Daniels single barrel rye. The rye is 47% alcohol, 94 proof Tennessee rye whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee. So I'm going to put that prop back for you there. What I have here is exactly 1 ounce poured here to do a sample. Well, I want to use this rye to make a Manhattan, but I needed to taste the base whiskey first, so this is what we're doing. They tend to look for aromas, enticing blend of full sweet soft fruit layered with the underlying rye, spice, and oak. Flavors of it says well-rounded rye whiskey brings out sweet caramel and baking spice, pleasant lingering finish. So the aromas, let's start there. They tell you to look for sweet, soft fruit, full sweet, soft fruit. That's a lot there. You really can't taste a lot of, or get a lot of fruit on the nose, I should say. So first thing I noticed, even before I read this, rice, spice, and oak. Sure, why not? I am noticing, oddly enough, I am noticing more oak than I did from the regular, the Tennessee whiskey, a single barrel select, to be honest with you. But yeah, a lot of oak. But yeah, a lot of soft fruit. I'm getting a combination of, I'm going to say cherry, I'm going to say apple, raisin, maybe date as well. Almost like again, like the other one, like a fruit cake. Like dried, sweetened, fruit for a fruit cake kind of thing going on. Let's take a drink, shall we? I had my music going before I started the video, and the classic Nick Lowe song "Crack It Up" was playing. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's a great tune. Basher, as they called him, when he was producing for his crude methods, they said. Nick Lowe liked the raw sound. You can really hear that in works that he produced, but you can really hear it in his own stuff too. And in the 80s came along and wanted everything wildly overproduced or synthesized. Okay, so taste. Well-rounded rye brings out sweet caramel and dry baking spice. Yeah, okay. For those of you that have heard me before, the way I differentiate caramel and toffee, some use them as interchangeable, as basically the same descriptor. For me, it's different. Caramel is a creamier, smoother taste, while toffee is a little richer, a little more decadent. And here you do get more caramel, and more of a lighter caramel than a dark caramel. More of a lighter, brown sugar than a very dark burnt brown sugar. Baking spice, sure. There's a sweetness in there, though. Oh gosh, the baking spice. I'm gonna say allspice, cinnamon. You might find some nutmeg. I'm certainly feel like I'm nutmeg. That's what I say. Nutmeg, allspice, cinnamon. You might find some cardamom in there as well. Finish, pleasant lingering finish. Yeah, what I get anyway is just that little bit of sweetness, almost like a hint of molasses that breaks into that oak and a combination of the rye spice and the barrel spice. Those baking spices really come into play here. They kind of linger. What I get the most is kind of a bit of lingering allspice and cinnamon. And just kind of dance pleasantly across your palate there. Ah, it's gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to having a Manhattan with this particular rye. I typically make. I like bourbon, right, or American whiskeys. So I typically make my Manhattans with a bourbon that uses rye as a secondary. I like the full flavor that that provides. But I am looking forward to trying this because this has some very nice flavor. But I still got that song played in my head. I don't think it's funny no more cracking up. Well, that's one thing I loved about Nicolo's sound was raw, both lyrically and musically. But it was raw and honest, and somehow those things got lost as we went into the '80s. And the '90s became all about whining how terrible your life is. With grunge, everybody feels sorry for me. I've had it rough. I think that's why me being on the very beginning of that Gen X really never got into grunge because it just felt like whiny, feel sorry for yourself music. Well, as the people that liked it saw truth. For them, it was truth. For me, it was just whiny. But yeah, I listen to stuff like Nick Lowe. It was just honest. Nick Lowe, Elvis Costello. Um, that sound was honest. As you can see, this is very easy to drink whiskey. It's absolutely wonderful rye. It is a little. It isn't quite as spicy as some that I've had. So I personally wouldn't mind some more spice, but there are some nice flavors. They describe it here as well-rounded, I believe. Well-rounded, and it is. It doesn't go too far out of the box one direction or the other, but it is a lot of flavor. So there you go. It doesn't get quite as rich as a bourbon or as sweet as a bourbon, but nor is it supposed to. So anyway, there you go. I am Tom the Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, pervert wisdom man, all right, good guy. Cheers, y'all. I don't think it's funny no more cracking up. Look it up. It's a great tune anyway. But it got stuck in my head, man. Cheers, y'all.